In the name of Allah, the most graceful, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today's class is full blast for English for the second intermediate class, the second semester. So today's class or today's lesson is 4E, which is entitled What a Day. So this is actually pronounced What a Day. Okay, so this title actually tells us that something incredible happened. Okay, when someone uses this phrase, what a day, that means that they had an incredible day, which can be a positive or a negative experience. Okay, so when people actually say what a day, that means they had an incredible experience. Okay, so this is the title for the lesson. So that means that we're going to talk about stories, or we will tell stories about things that happened to us. Okay, so in today's lesson we will learn two things, and by the end of this lesson you should be able to present vocabulary related to school. Okay, you will learn some vocabulary about school, and also you will be able to write an account of an event. Okay, you will write an account of an event for something that happened to you or to someone else. Okay, إذا راح يكون لدينا مفردات تخص المدرسة، ولا راح يكون لدينا أنك تكتب تقرير أو وصف لحدث حصل معك أو حصل مع شخص آخر، يعني كأنك تروي قصة عما حصل لك. Okay, so now let's move on to the book. Okay, so if you have your textbook in front of you, please open your book to page 56. If you don't have your book, just look for the title, What a Day, 4E. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to discuss is some vocabulary. Okay, so for this part you're going to need your dictionary or your phone or your tablet or your laptop to check for the meaning for words or look up the meaning for words on the internet or at your dictionary. So I have my dictionary in here, so you will find something similar to this, so don't worry if you don't have your dictionary, you can get it later. So now let's take a look at number one, vocabulary. So this exercise we need to listen and read the following sentences. What do the phrases in bold mean? Okay, so we need to focus on those phrases. Okay, like passed his exams, fail, and C, sit for exams, D, missed a lesson, E, do well. Okay, in a school context, we will look for these words in school context. Okay, so now listen to the sentences very carefully and try to guess the meaning for the words in bold from the context. Okay, حاول انك تخمن معنى الكلمات التي بالخط العريض اثناء سماعك للنص.
Malik was very proud when he passed his exams.
Okay, Malik was very proud when he passed his exams. Okay, now let's listen to sentence B.
You didn't study for the test, so it is possible that you will fail it.
Okay, so it's given that if you don't study, you will fail. Okay, so this should tell you the meaning without looking for the word in the dictionary. Okay, now let's listen to C.
How often do you sit for exams at your school?
Okay, how often do you sit for exams at your schools? At my school, we sit for exams twice in one semester and one final exam, so 3 times.
Steve was so ill that he missed a week's lessons.
Okay, he was so ill. Ill here means sick, okay? And because of that, he missed a week's lesson, okay? An entire week's lesson. Now let's listen to E.
I always do well in tests because I study hard every day.
Okay, so he studied hard every day. Therefore, he always do well in tests, okay? Because he study very well, very hard every day. Okay, now this is number one. Actually, you don't need to answer those. Just look for the meaning in your dictionary or on the internet, okay? Now let's take it one by one. Let's take a look at past as a verb. When someone passes their exams, okay, when someone passes his exam or her exam, that means that they moved on to the next level, okay? So it's like there is a gate and you pass the gate, okay? You go to the next level, you pass the exam, you go to the next school year, and so on. Okay, so this is the word pass as a verb, okay? Pass mean to succeed in a test. So in a school context, pass mean to succeed in a test, okay? So here's an example. It was a difficult test to pass, okay? But I would spend a week studying, okay? So this is an example and this is the meaning of the word. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We have the word fail, okay? Fail it, fail a test, okay? Fail a subject. When you fail something, that means you don't succeed. So this is the exact opposite of the word passed, okay? Passed a test, okay, or passed an exam, and fail an exam, okay? You can't say fail in something, okay? This is incorrect. You need to say fail something, okay? So fail English, fail maths, fail whatever subject, okay? So the word fail means to not succeed, okay? The exact opposite of passed. إذن هذه الثنتين عكس بعض. Okay, now let's look at C. How often do you sit for exams? Okay, so sit for exams, to attend an exam, to sit and do an exam, okay? So how often do you sit for exams? كم مرة تحضر اختبارات أو تؤدي اختبارات في مدرستك? Okay, so يؤدي اختبار, sit for exams, to do the actual exam, okay? Now let's take a look at sentence D. Steve was so ill that he missed a week's lesson, okay? Steve was so ill, so sick, كان مريض جدا. He missed, okay? He didn't attend a week's lesson, okay? So that means missed يعني فوت أو إيش لم يحضر درس أسبوع كامل. E. I always do well in tests. Okay, what the meaning of do well in tests? Okay, let's take a look at the next part of the sentence because this will tell us the meaning. I always do well in tests because I study hard every day. So if you study hard every day, you will get the full mark. Okay, so that's the meaning of doing well. Okay, so I always do well. That means I get good grades. Okay, so those are the meanings for these sentences. Okay, so keep that in mind. Take notes. We are going to need those for our next activities. Okay, so this part, we need to read the text, okay, and read very carefully and try to understand the whole text because we are going to have some questions about the text, true-false questions. After that, the next step, you are going to write something similar to this, okay? You are going to write something similar to this, okay? So this is actually an example. إذن هذا لديك الآن مثال لعمل كتابة أو تعبير نود الوصول إليه على نهاية الدرس إن شاء الله. إذن هذا موجود مثال أمامك، ستكتب بإذن الله مثال أو تعبير مشابه لهذا المثال أو أقصر بشكل قليل. Okay, so please listen carefully and read along as the reader goes.
I am not normally absent. Dear Diary, I am not normally absent-minded, so what happened today is something I would definitely never forget. Last week I missed a lesson because I was ill, so the next day my teacher informed me about a test we had to take on Sunday, which was on a novel. I generally consider myself a good student, and in most cases I do very well in tests. I had no reason to believe that this time would be different. I studied hard all weekend. So when Sunday morning came, I felt confident as well as pleased with myself.
Okay, so let's discuss this before we continue. So we have some vocabulary here that, for example, the word absent-minded, okay? Absent-minded. When someone is absent-minded, that means they tend to forget things a lot, okay? absent-minded. Okay, they are distracted all the time. They think about other things. They tend to forget things. Okay, that's the meaning of absent-minded. ينسى بكثرة أو مغيب الذهن إلى آخره. So this is the meaning of this word. So he's saying that I am not normally absent-minded. Okay, he is not normally absent-minded. He can be sometimes, but not all the time. Okay. Okay, now let's continue to the next part. Okay. Also, please read along as you listen.
Did I mention I was actually looking forward to the test? Well, when I got into the classroom, my classmates were nervous. They were discussing a specific chapter of the novel we had to study, saying that it was impossible for them to remember all the names of the countries included in the chapter. But what did they mean? The novel was about a teacher who stayed in one place his entire life. I soon realized what had happened. The novel I spent all weekend reading was not the right novel. Naturally, I failed the test. So much effort for the wrong book. Incredible, right?
Okay, so he is telling a story that something happened to them, and he's saying that that thing is incredible. Okay, so what a day. So that takes us back to the title of this lesson. Okay, now let's take a look at the activity next. Here what you need to do is put T or F, true or false, next to each statement. If it's true, we write the letter T, and if it's not true, we write the letter F, which means false. Okay. Number one, the writer usually forgets things. Okay, I will give you some time just to pause the video and do the exercise by yourself. Then come back and continue to check your answers. Okay, now let's take a look at the answers. The writer usually forgets things. He said he is not normally absent-minded, so this is actually false. The answer is F. Number two, the writer missed a lesson and didn't know they had a test at school. The writer actually knew that there was a test because the teacher told him before the test. So he is informed. Okay, so the answer is false. Okay, the writer studied on the days before the test. The answer is true. He actually studied very hard for the test. Number four, the other students were confident on the day of the test. Okay, so he mentioned something about classmates. Okay, they were very nervous. Okay, so the exact opposite of the word confident. So this sentence is false. Number five, the writer realized that he was going to fail the test. He realized as he was doing the test, he was sitting for the exam, he knew he was studying for another subject, so that made him fail. So this is actually true. Okay, so these are the answers for 1 to 5. Please check your answers for mistakes and correct them if there are any mistakes. Now let's move on to the next part of this lesson. Okay, so this is the speaking and writing part. We will skip the speaking part because usually students are doing this alone. They don't have partner. In this activity, you need a partner to do this. Okay, so let's move on to the next part of this activity. Okay, so you have a writing task. Okay, you have a writing task. You need to write something. نحتاج الآن نكتب إيش؟ نكتب تعبير قصة عن شيء حصل لك أو حصل لشخص آخر. Okay. عادة راح نجيب على مجموعة من الأسئلة. الإجابات الأسئلة هذه نجمع الجمل أو الإجابات على هذه الأسئلة، نكون منها تعبير ونستخدم أدوات الربط المناسبة. We have a tip here عندنا هنا على نقطة مهمة جدا. Before you begin writing, make notes of the information you want to include. دائما قبل أن تكتب ضع ملاحظات أو اكتب نقاط للمعلومات التي تريد إضافتها في التعبير. Write your first draft and correct it. إذا تكتب الجزء الأول أو المسودة الأولى أو النسخة الأولى من التعبير ثم تقوم بتصحيحها. Don't forget to use variety of grammatical structures, for example tenses, relative pronouns and adjectives. Another example, adjectives for example incredible, fantastic, awful and so on. Okay. استخدم ونوع في القواعد ونوع في الأزمنة ونوع في الضمائر والصفات التي تستخدمها في التعبير. Then write your final draft. ثم بعد ذلك اكتب المسودة النهائية والنسخة النهائية من التعبير. Okay, so you actually need to answer those questions so you can be able to write your own story. Okay. أجب على هذه الأسئلة لتكتب التعبير. When did it happen? Okay, so we are going to talk about something happened to you, something important, something incredible. Okay. Where did it happen? When did it happen? And where were you when that happened? Who were with you? And what exactly happened? Okay. How did you feel? And why is this incident hard to forget? Okay. If you answer those 5 questions, you will have some strong information to build your own paragraph. Okay. Or your own story. So here it says write an account of an event. Okay. An account of an event. إذا تكتب قصة لحدث حصل لك أو لشخص آخر. Account of an event. Use the information and activity B and the questions in the speech bubble to help you write the account. First, go to the workbook, page 125, and complete the writing plan. Okay. Now, please go to page 125. You will see something like this. Okay. This is the writing plan we are going to use to make our story. Okay. So, I will make one just for example. If you want to pause the video and do your own and then come back and check for some information. If you want to stay in the video and watch how I do it, then do one at your own. Okay. So writing plan and account on events. This is the plan. Here where you brainstorm your ideas for of your account. Okay. Brainstorm idea. تجمع أفكار. تعمل عملية عصف ذهني لتجمع أفكارك هنا ثم تحولها إلى جمل وتعبير. Okay. Before you write, قبل أن تكتب, what are you writing about? Okay. What are you writing about? Why are you writing? Okay. إذا تعطينا السبب وما هو الشيء الذي تكتب عنه. Okay. So this is the setting. This is, try to imagine the situation and find this information. When, متى, where, أين, who was involved, من كان مشترك أو موجود في هذه القصة. Okay. So I will write one on my own. Okay. Something that happened to someone I know. Okay. So he said that it happened. Let's take a look here. Okay. He said that it happened 3 weeks ago. Okay. You don't have to write the same answer. This is just an example. Okay. It happened 3 weeks ago. Where did it happen? In front of my house. Okay. And at the police station. Okay. Who was involved? My brother, myself, and the police. Okay. So we have some interesting facts. Okay. I know this story is going to be interesting. So these are the information that we are going to need to create our own account of an event. Okay. So let's take a look at the next part. Also, you will see this on page 125. Okay. So here are some important information as well. What happened? You need to explain what happened first, next, then. Maybe you only have one thing that happened. That's okay. So for this story, the first thing that happened was I gave my brother permission to borrow my car in the future. Then I forgot. Okay. إذا أعطى الإذن لأخوه أنه يستخدم السيارة أو يستعير السيارة في المستقبل ولكن نسى أن أعطى أخوه الإذن. What happened next? A week later, بعد أسبوع, my car disappeared and I reported it to the police. Okay. بعد أسبوع السيارة موجودة أمام البيت, بلغ الشرطة. Then the police caught my brother. الشرطة قامت بالقبض على أخوه. Okay. إذن عندنا هنا مجرد رؤوس أقلام، نقاط بسيطة نستخدمها فقط لجمع الأفكار، ثم الكتابة ستكون إذن في ورقة خارجية، مسودة أولى ثم مسودة نهائية نصحح فيها جميع الأخطاء. ولا ننسى التنويع في القواعد والأزمنة والصفات والضمائر. How did you feel? كيف شعرت أثناء حصول هذا الحدث؟ Very embarrassed. Okay. محرج جدا. اوكي تسبب له بالاحراج. اوكي now let's move on to the next part, this one. Why is this event hard to forget? لماذا هذا الحدث صعب لا يمحى من الذاكرة؟ I got a warning from the police and everyone is talking about it. Okay, so بسبب هذا الحدث حصل على تنبيه من الشرطة وتحذير من الشرطة والجميع يتحدث عن هذا الشيء. إذا لدينا بعض الحقائق وبعض المعلومات نستطيع الآن أن نكون بها قصة، ندمج الجمل مع بعض، نستخدم أدوات ربط مناسبة، ضمائر مناسبة إلى آخره، يصبح لدينا قصة متكاملة. Okay, now let's take a look at the example. Now let's take a look at the account of an event. إذا هذه القصة موجودة أمامك الآن، فيها جميع المعلومات التي سبق ذكرها في الصفحة 125. Okay, now let's read the story and you will see by yourself that they are very related. Okay, متصلة بالمعلومات التي ذكرنا قبل قليل. Okay, 3 weeks ago my brother told me that he's going to need to borrow my car in the next few days. Okay, we don't know which day it is, but it's in the next few days. So I gave him my car's spare keys and told him to feel comfortable to come and pick it up whenever he likes. Okay. A week later, I walked out of the house and my car is gone. I kept looking around the street, but I couldn't find it. I panicked and called the police to tell them that my car is stolen. The police showed up at my house to write a report. Okay. Then all of a sudden, فجأة, we saw my car driving down the street. Okay. Me, the police and I saw the car driving down the street. Okay. So the police went after my car and stopped the thief. Okay. They stopped the thief to get my car back. When I saw the thief, I felt extremely dumb and embarrassed. Okay. It was my brother. He borrowed the car as I told him to, and I forgot all about it. I will never forget this event because the police gave me a harsh warning and my brother was laughing and told everyone about it, about this story. Okay, so this is an example. You can write something similar to this. You can be creative, use your imagination. It doesn't have to be a true story. Okay, it can be all from your imagination. Always remember that to use the capital letters at the beginning of the sentence, okay, with names, nouns, and so on. Okay, so this is actually an example. You can pause the video and take a look at the example. You can underline the parts that you remember from page 125, and you see how we connected them to each other. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day.